Okay. Call to order the city council meeting on the 16th day of January 2024. Call to order, and would like to start out with the Pledge of Allegiance. Mary, can you offer it? Yes. Can you lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilwoman Wadsworth. Here. Councilman Sandretto. Councilman Reed.
Present.
Councilwoman Alcazar.
Here.
Motion to excuse Councilman Sandretto.
Second.
All in favor?
Wadsworth, aye.
Reed, aye.
Alcazar, aye.
Motion passes. Consent agenda. Are there any questions on the consent agenda before we approve it? Any motions to pass it?
I move to approve the January 16th, 2024 consent agenda as written.
Second.
All in favor?
Wadsworth, aye.
Reed, aye.
Alcazar, aye.
Motion passes. And the agenda, a couple of items I need to add to the bottom of it. There's a couple of employees, one employee leaving, a part-time employee we want to retain. And then under the items for ordinances and approval, item I, the end of it needs to read, allowing elected official to waive all or portion of regular compensation is the way it should end. And we caught that Carla caught that this afternoon, bless her heart. We'd like to go ahead with visitor comments. Do we have any visitors that would like to make I'm sorry. Approval of the agenda is written. Sorry.
I motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Wadsworth, aye.
Reed, aye.
Alcazar, aye.
Thank you. Do we have any visitors who would like to make a comment? We have Mary Anderson who would like to make a comment. You want to come up here to the microphone, introduce yourself and give your address, and you have 3 minutes to make a statement to the council.
Thank you, sir. My name is Mary Anderson. Currently reside at 6721 West Kennewick Avenue, apartment 5. That's in Kennewick. 99336, in case I was supposed to say that part. I'm here tonight because I was part of the December 21st, I think, meeting, the planning meeting to approve my roof pitch for 1302 Edith Avenue. It was approved that evening, hands down. Then I believe it came to this committee. I'm not positive about that, but the next committee on January 5th. And it was brought back to the planning department due to a letter from a neighbor. I'm here because I just want to share with those of you that maybe I haven't met. I'm just trying to move into this neighborhood. I brought pictures of what my house is going to look like. It is going to be beautiful. My roof pitch, I've followed every rule that everyone's asked me to, including the conditional use permit. We were, I guess, fighting for a 312 pitch. However, I agreed to a 412 to make a conscious effort to get closer to the 5. As we discussed in the meeting that I was at on December 21st, a 512 pitch is very unusual. Most manufactured home dealers don't make a 512. And in order for me to be able to hit the 512, I have to go to a 612
May I, with all due apologies, may I interrupt for just a second here? I believe that this might be something that has to go back through a public hearing process. And so it may be that the council will be in a position
Right. Mm.
then to hear
Well,
that, but
I just wanted to share with you guys
Mhm.
what I'm trying to accomplish.
I think she has 3 minutes to make a statement, and yes, you're probably right, Dan.
well, but there are some things we don't, we want to preserve the hearing process, and I'm not trying to deprive you of it.
We're just gonna hear her. There's nothing we can do as a council other than listen.
Well,
Go ahead, Mary.
Thank you. I guess I'm here because I've been waiting since October for the answers to this pitch and this conditional use permit. And I met with the gentleman who wrote the letter. And it was clear to me that it wasn't about the roof pitch. It was more about he doesn't want any house there. It doesn't matter if it was mine or not or whatever, but I just wanted to be able to talk to you guys or let you guys know what I was trying to do. And I don't mean to interrupt the meeting. But I know it wasn't denied. It was just taken back to the planning department again. But they had already approved it. And it's costing me an awful lot of money waiting every 30 days for an answer. And I should have already been in my house. So I'm just here pleading that somebody lets me move to Benton City. I guess that's all I got.
Thank you, Mary. I do empathize.
And I don't know if anybody wants to see any pictures, but I do have some.
Okay, okay. Do we have any other visitors' comments? Okay, Mr. Parks.
My name is Benton, and before I sit down,
Okay.
I'm not sure if I'm on the agenda or I'm in a.
No, your visitors' comment.
Okay. I have 7 to actively that I made one for each person. Because I knew I wasn't gonna have time to go over it. I wanted to leave you some documentation. My name is Dave Sharp. I live at 89417 Summit View Drive in Benton County. And I have been involved in the review of the 4-7 wind farm. And I'm going to talk to you about 3 minutes here. And there's going to be an important, and all the documents are in here. There's 3 documents. My 3-minute speech or talk. Proposed letter that you could communicate with either Kathleen Drew or Sonia Bumpus if you have comments. The third one is the map of the project, the current status of it. It'll take maybe 30 seconds to go over that. The fourth one is a bill that is proposed. It's in front of the legislature right now, going through the process by Stephanie Barnard and Matt Winke is filed a companion bill in the Senate, and it's to engage local communities in the aerial firefighting, the ability to do aerial firefighting, because that apparently is a hole in the process right now. They had never considered that in the review process, but November 24th or January 24th, there's going to be a decision made. There will be a recommendation made to the council, and they will vote on a recommendation for the project that's going to go to the governor. Unfortunately, we don't really know what the recommendation is, and there's a public comment period from the 19th to the 21st that we're going to comment on it as a Tri-City Cares as an intervener, but we really don't know how to comment because we don't know what's in the process. But on December 20th, the council met and developed a plan where they identified the impact of the turbines, the highest to the lowest impact. And they're going to look at several options. And the options are based upon the map You can take a look at the map on the third page. The red turbines, coded red, are the ones that have 3 significant impacts that are not able to be mitigated. The green color are the ones that don't have any impacts, and there's a few that are yellow and orange that have 1 or 2 impacts. That's just a guideline for the council to use in making their decision. But the unfortunate thing is, from everything we found, they have not considered anything about aerial firefighting. And my consideration of Benton City is that it's one of the most highly impacted communities because of the turbines right on the edge of the ridge, the impact on firefighting, and the loss of the recreation area. So I wanted to make sure you're aware of that. And if you have any comments, you can get the information from the FSEC website. And I'm over my 3 minutes by 15 seconds. But you can, one of the comments I would have immediately would be that there's been nothing about aerial firefighting in the plan of what they're gonna do. And in my mind, that's a real issue with all the communities along that ridgeline. So that's all I have tonight.
Thank you.
So.
Any other visitors with comments? We'll close the comment section. Staff reports.
I have none at this time.
Go ahead.
I have none at this time.
Okay,
I have none.
I have none.
okay, awesome. And next item on that, there are a sequence on the numbers, but we missed the number there, but the planners report, George.
Good evening, Mayor Burton, members of the council. Planners report for January 10th of this year. I'll begin with a new request for short plat application that we've recently received. This request is on Babbs Avenue. It's a request to divide a 3.5 acre parcel into 4 lots. Access to the property is via Babbs Avenue. Property is located between the Yakima River and Babbs Avenue. Property is zoned R2 medium density residential. And we're reviewing it at this time. Spink Engineering, or Honda Engineering now, will be reviewing it too as well. The next item is an item we've had before. It's for a commercial site plan on Dale Avenue. And we finished up the review and we'll be issuing a permit to proceed with this project here, probably this week. And again, this is located in the Benton City Industrial Park on Dale Avenue, and the property is zoned M1 Light Industrial. And this is to construct a 14,000 square foot steel building for the purpose of light manufacturing and storage. Update on the Olson Brothers subdivision. We've met with them a couple of times. We're going to have one more meeting with our fire department and probably the irrigation district and probably WASDOT, just to go over some of the final comments that we received through the SEPA process. We'll also proceed after this if discussions go well. We'll have a hearing at the planning commission level for the preliminary plat approval. And if that is approved by the planning commission, it will come up to this body in another month or so. Vintner's Vista preliminary plat. The owners of that proposed subdivision has resubmitted their plat for review for us, for staff, as well as our engineer. And again, this is for a 9.2 acre parcel to be subdivided into 31 residential lots. This is zoned R3, high density residential. And this plat was approved by council on March 1st, 2002. And it is going in accordance with their original submittal. But they wanted staff to review any comments moving forward. So that'll come to this body here probably in another month or two, and they can start doing some site excavation here in the next few weeks or month when the weather clears. We have a conditional use permit application. This request is for a drive-through coffee sales business on 0.42 acre parcel. This is off of Jacobs Road. It's just immediately east of the Shell gas station. And we have interpreted this location. It's approximately 1.91 acres. It's zoned commercial currently. And this area is what we consider not to be in the I-82 sub-area plan. So this type of activity requires a conditional use application and a commercial site plan, and we're starting to review this application. Once we move forward on a review, I will be submitting the SEPA checklist to the Department of Ecology for further public comments on this project. We are planning to have a meeting with the Department of Fish and Wildlife to discuss the need for a habitat assessment on the DNR property on the I-82 sub-area plan. And this will probably be Friday afternoon, weather permitting. We'll also need to be taking a look at a cultural plan for this area too. So that will be coming up. We're going to discuss when and where that's going to happen, but we're going to start this off for the habitat review with the Department of Fish and Wildlife this week.
On 5, you said east of the Shell's gas station, you have, and it says west in the
Oh, I'm sorry.
description.
Yeah, it's just immediately east on the land.
Right,
adjacent to it.
immediately east
Yeah,
on the
that's
east
a,
side of
that's a
it,
typo.
yes.
Hold on a second, because I'm looking at the ID numbers. The ID number has it, when I look at the map, it's to the west.
Hmm.
Between Weber.
It's between Weber
and
Canyon
Shell.
Road, yeah.
It's,
It's to the west
It's on the east side of Weber Road, but
It's on the west side of it,
west of the
of the
Shell
Shell
station.
gas
between the
station.
road and the Shell station.
was it
Says, the deal says to the west of the Shell gas station, it's actually to the east
exactly?
of it.
Yeah, that's a
It's
mistake.
between Jacobs and the gas station.
Right. Yeah, that's a typo.
Yeah, it's to the west.
Okay,
It's to the west of the gas station.
Oh, but the property they're looking to locate on is immediately east of the Shell gas station.
So,
It's because there's kind of a V there as you come under the underpass. And you turn left and there's the Shell gas station as you're going up Jacobs.
so is the tax parcel number then wrong in the,
That's the one they gave me. It's lot 1. I will check that again, but I will have if it is incorrect, I will have a correct
okay.
tax lot number. So that was off their application.
EMCS, I believe, owns both lots on either side of the Shell station. So maybe that's what it, okay.
Well, there's like 3 parcels there are the same owner.
Okay, I was just looking at the 2.
Yeah. And it's just west of the road, the access road up to the gravel pit.
Okay, so it must be the other property then.
Yeah, there's 3.
So then the
Separate.
parcel number is that right on here in the packet.
They may gave me a wrong tax lot number, but
Okay,
there's 3 properties that are owned by the same
Mhm.
development company there.
Yes, ending in 7001, 7003, and then 7004.
That's correct.
So it's one of those 3 or 4.
Right.
Okay.
We're
So
good.
I'm still trying to get all my bearings of where things are going in and that sort of thing. So when people ask me, I know.
So that's
Right.
okay.
As you go by the Shell gas station on your right,
Right.
there's a road, the access road that goes up to the gravel pit.
Yeah.
And there's kind of a ravine there, but this property sets up on that high level spot next to the
Okay.
gas station.
Yeah, I was just looking by I look
Oh.
at the tax ID numbers
Oh,
and it wasn't matching up. That's why I wasn't sure.
I will double check that, make sure on that,
Okay.
their application, but
Thank you, George. We have the Benton County Sheriff's report. Thank you. for coming.
Council members, Commander Matt Clark with Sheriff's Office, and I know it's a new year, but we have our stats for last year for December,
Okay.
so that's what we're reporting on. So we're typically, it takes us a couple weeks to get our stats for the previous month, so that's where we're at, is for December. So in December of 23, for Benton City, we had 212 calls for service. 176 in 2022, which there was a slight increase. For most of the year, we saw a decrease in calls for service, but it tends to every year, every month, calls for service go up and down. So it was a little bit up in 2023. We did have 26 case offenses out of those 212 calls. I was looking at the different calls. We're not seeing any major trends in the Benton City area that we're concerned of. The one that I did double check on is we had one call for service on a robbery. So when you see a call like that, it kind of jumps out to everybody. So I did a little research on it, and what that one was, it is listed as a robbery, but it was a person indicating that their vape pen was stolen from them. It was in their hand. So young teenagers, it sounds like, took it from them. So with that, it's not a concern for the public. It's not a concern for the city. That was one of the calls that kind of jumps out at us when we see those. But again, just reporting back with Benton City, things are going well here. We enjoy being out in the public and the community, and we're always here for any questions. If anybody has questions, we can answer those. We did have 2 DUI arrests during the month, and then we also wrote a total of 8 infractions in the city. So if there's any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them or try to.
If no questions, I've actually got a compliment. We've had the pleasure of meeting a lot of your new deputies that are going through FTO and coming off of FTO. They're fitting right in with the community. Very pleasant to work with, great personalities. I've got to sit down and have lunch with a couple of them, just solid people. Kudos to the sheriff's department for employing top-notch people. I know it's been a long road to get your ranks refilled and stuff like that, but it's good to see you guys are closing that gap. And
yeah, and I'll definitely pass that on.
It's
Not only to Sheriff Crossery, but to the troops as well. We've done an excellent job when Sheriff Crossery came in. We were quite a few positions down. So in the last year, we've hired 10 deputies. We're currently with 2 vacancies. We've hired some really high caliber deputies, and it's good to see them out there because they're out there willing to talk with the public, stopping at the fire stations. They know that you guys feed them from time to time, but it's great working with all the different organizations and community members. So hopefully we get those last 2 positions filled. I shared last meeting as well. We also started a PROACT team, so we have a PROACT team that's up and running now, that's out there helping us out as well. So things are going in the right direction. I'm happy to be there.
Awesome.
So,
Yeah, the other thing, if you don't mind kind of piggybacking off of what your our dispatch system. With the inclement weather and the change in the 911 system, I kind of want to publicly announce the Benton County has posted it on their Facebook page, but we haven't relayed it or anything. We get a lot of calls for service. Our maintenance facility on call goes through the same dispatch as police and fire. They're getting, when they call the 628-0333 number, they're getting the recording and automatically think it's a voicemail. That is not a voicemail. After the prompt to call for one or two English and Spanish. If they need to speak with the dispatcher, they need to listen to those prompts that system's in place. And Benton County has advertised, but I don't think anybody else has. I personally have gotten a lot of phone calls.
okay.
Hey, why can't I get through to that number? Is dispatch down? No, you gotta, one or two and then hit number 3. You'll talk to a live body for your situation,
Yeah.
that type of thing. So
Yeah, and I know a lot of people get frustrated with this phone tree systems. They're trying to do the best they can and CCOM as well, but
Yeah.
we can repost that as well. on
yeah,
Our Facebook posts.
we can forward that out to the public as well.
Yeah,
Just for record, what's the number again?
509-628-0333. That is the countywide, actually region-wide, non-emergency number. If it's not an emergency, but you still need to contact City Public Works on call after hours or non-emergency situations to speak with officers or fire. Typically, you press the language you need. It'll give you 5 different prompts. Most of them fit under category 3, but I don't want to tell you just hit 3 as soon as you hear the
Right.
race.
Okay.
yeah, and it's so prior to going live, it was middle of December when they went live with the phone thing. The non-emergency number is designed so it doesn't take away from the emergencies. They were still going to dispatch, but they were tying up 911 with bark the dog complaints and other things. So that's why they put the non-emergency number now. So we'll take an extra prompt
Mhm.
to get to a live person, but it will help direct people to where they need to go.
That's good, because the non-emergency number I had is not that one. When I called non-emergency, I didn't get what I needed and I was like. Yeah. So, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for coming. Engineers. And I don't know why we have Spink Engineering down, but we suppose you just get it to just a cannon.
There is before us the city chamber, public relations.
Oh. It's. Okay. Benton City Chamber, I'm sorry, I missed that. Thank you. Are you on there? Hello?
Hi, I'm here.
Okay,
We're just here to check in with you guys. We'll be doing our end of the year, our quarter report in March. But everything's going smooth. We've got some new events coming up and yeah, just see if you guys have any questions for us.
okay. Any questions? Okay, thank you, Mary. We'll go on to engineers report. Like, good evening, Nathan.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. Engineering report for January 2024. I'll just go over a few highlights. The report was sent to you in advance. Job number 19101, Dinah Dale Avenue. Construction is in progress. They broke ground today. So if you drive by that area, you'll see equipment over there. 90% completion by end of February. The paving, which is the last part, will be done by end of April. Also, the TIB chip seal project was awarded in December. We're just coordinating with Benton County and coordinating also our engineering transition from Spink Engineering to Akana. Job 23101 Railroad Bridge. We have received the cultural resources survey and should have the biological study by the end of this week. Once that's complete, we will finalize the NEPA process for the public hearing. Hope to have that completed by mid-February. Blacktop Estates Park, you can see the tentative schedule there, fencing January 31st. Unfortunately, due to the weather, we have not going to make that schedule. So that's to be determined at this time. Grading is complete. But the other things will be completed probably once it warms up. Pedestrian crossings, that project has been approved by WashDOT. So we're happy for that. We do need to do a supplement agreement to change engineering firms from Spink Engineering to Akana. And Riverfront Park Trail, there's a few more submissions there. And once that's complete and approved, then we'll do a supplement agreement for that project as well. Legion Park fencing actually is complete. So apologize, I didn't get that one updated. And the last one to provide an update is job 23-125, the RCO maintenance grant. We are still working with RCO and pending the actual grant agreement for approval to proceed. Original calendar was scheduled for January 1st that we would have funds released, but RCO has not released that agreement as of yet. So once that's done, then we'll move forward on that grant. That's everything on our engineer's report. I know we've got a few other things later in the agenda. Any questions on that?
Okay. The city hall evaluation,
That
that's
will,
gonna come up next. Okay.
yes, sir. Any other
No
questions?
questions.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We had committee meeting reports at the top end of this. Yeah, items for discussion. L&I compliance, no charge inspection. Association of Washington Cities is stated, and I've verified it with L&I, that we can have L&I come in and go through our utilities, streets in that without any risk of a fine in that, and they'll do a compliance inspection telling us what we have to bring into compliance to meet L&I standards. And the attorney said I could just probably do it as a mayor, but I thought it was correct that I have the council's input on this and make sure the council's okay with doing this.
So I guess, maybe Dan, this might be for you. I guess this is overall what he's asking is to have L and I come in and do inspections without what?
With no risk of penalties or with no risk of citations, is that?
Correct.
Is that
Correct.
Mayor, could I have the floor? This is Jose, maintenance supervisor.
Jose?
Jose, go ahead.
I just want to remind you, we already had a LNI inspection. They did a whole walkthrough through the maintenance shop and the waste treatment plant. And so I think we're good to go for now. We could have them come back around, maybe in 6 months.
In
like
6
mid-year.
months.
I don't know if you want to have them come back for a certain reason, or
I'm just asking a question. Do we want to have them come in and take a look around? And I know they looked at some of the things, and a couple of them they corrected. And that was when we had our last L&I visit. And even the lady that came in at that time and said there was no infractions, said that she had helped him with some things down there that, and I know they did correct them. The question is do we want to do this, or Jose is suggesting in 6 months, that's okay also.
I think, we've hired the one firm to come in and help us with, safety and
The policies.
the
and stuff.
policies and everything like that. So I think giving some time to make sure that we can correct and make sure everything's good. I have no issues with L and I, but that's why I'm looking at you, Dan. I don't know what the policies are on this.
Well, L&I is an enforcement agency as well as an inspection agency. And if they say that they would not cite us no matter what they found,
Trust them.
I was gonna say that's kind of concerning because usually that's their job, is to cite any infractions. I mean, there shouldn't be any special agreement. I hope they can catch and give us, good guidance on what needs to be fixed versus.
I'd ask the Association of Washington Cities, what are our options, to hire someone to come in? And one of the items they suggested specifically was to contact L&I that they would come in if we ask them to without any possibility of penalties or infractions. So that was an option they gave.
May I add a comment?
What?
Just from my previous work with childcare facilities and L&I inspections, they can come and do a no-cost inspection and there'll be no citations. However, if they find something, you'll be written on a corrective action plan. And then they will come back later and verify that those things have been completed. So you are putting some risk out if anything
We have
is
to
found.
comply with what they find.
Correct.
And if they came back and found it, we had an accident, would we get a citation? What I'm saying is we
Yeah.
did have, we didn't correct it, have it corrected. We had no inspection, then we'd have a citation.
That's correct. And obviously accidents are,
Right.
I can't say, it just depends on the accident. You may get a citation even if you do a correction, but essentially if you invite L&I in to come and do an inspection, they will do an inspection and not cite you. But then there will be a corrective action plan and a
Right.
time frame to complete those actions.
Correct.
And they will come back and audit and verify those are done.
I've just got two concerns. Number one, administratively, the city maintaining appropriate policies for workplace safety. And I know Councilman Sandretto had a lot to weigh in on that, so I'd like to get his input on that too, because
Okay.
he's been involved in that for
Okay.
well longer than we've been
Well, we
elected.
can postpone it. And
Yeah.
talk about it.
Can we?
And to follow up with what Jessica indicated, we have somebody on board who's supposed to be helping with some of those policies and some of those.
NIMS wrote a policy manual, and there's a fair amount of work to complete it because it's a generic manual he pulled in. We have to go in and fill in all the blank spots or write him a check for 45 grand to get that done and to implement it.
Well, I don't know about the money, but I'm thinking,
Yeah, right.
that's those. I'm not saying
Mhm.
you can't trust L&I to do what they say they're gonna do, but I think that sometimes L&I
Okay.
is enforcement rather
Okay.
than friend.
We'll just postpone this until we have Dave here, Councilman Andrew. 12th Street, it did not come to the packet. Okay, I give everybody a copy of it. We have a little teeny tiny lot up there that we have inherited. I don't know the reason why we inherited it, but we own it. It's 0.09 portion of an acre. It has no water. It's not set up for water or sewer. There's a little right of way on the north side of it marked off. And I'm looking for guidance what the council would like to do. I would, if there's any input.
Is this something that we maintain at the moment?
We do not maintain it. We will have to maintain it.
Gotcha. It looks like it's in a residential area.
Yeah,
I would definitely consider maybe turning it into a green space of some form if we can go that avenue.
and
The other option I've typically seeing that this abuts up to two other residential buildings. Is there a possibility that somebody can expand their lot into that?
there is, I can visit with them and see if they would like to purchase it and expand into it.
May I ask, do you know if this is fee title or is this an easement?
It is
or-
in the city's name.
Okay. Then
And
we,
if I can add to that, it was part of the Wrangler edition. And there was a tract that was left for the city and meant for a green space. And I know it's just another piece of land that the city has to maintain.
You know,
So-
that's a concern is
Yeah.
the maintenance time to take care of it.
It's funny.
That's
you
where it
said that.
came-
I was thinking like a park too, that would, because I'm looking and it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of park space there and
You know, it's
something like that.
3,900 square feet. We have Blacktop Park, which is part of this area.
I think it's just important to see if we can make anything go with any valuable land that we have left, especially with our footprint shrinking up on us to maintain some green space for either pets or kids or whatever it may be.
Okay,
Thank you, Alan.
Yep.
your feelings, Bill?
I'm open for discussion on it. Whether we sell the property, green space. I'm open to hear all options.
Okay,
Yeah, see if any of the neighbors want to, that are backed up to it already, if they would want to expand or turn it into a
Okay.
green space.
I'll talk to the neighbors, see what they want to do, and I'll come back to the council with it, okay? Next item is selection of a mayor pro tem. Do we have any nominations?
I'd like to nominate William Reed.
I second.
Choo choo.
I want to say that Bill has done a phenomenal job. He's been really well to
Oh.
work with as mayor pro tem,
You've
so
done a great job.
he has. So I would like to see him continue on that.
Underappreciated, but done a great job. All those in favor?
Wadsworth, aye.
Hawkins, aye.
Reed, aye.
Motion passes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And
I will speak with you two after the meeting.
Not a problem.
I have an appointment right after.
City Hall presentation.
Back in October, if you guys will recall, you had requested Spink Engineering, now Akana, to provide a presentation with options regarding City Hall. One second here, I'll share my screen.
There it goes.
So for the discussions, at the time, we were discussing the remodel of the old City Hall building and the $299,000 grant that we've been awarded for demolition and asbestos removal. And with that, you'll recall the provisions were to, if the city accepted those funds, then they would have to keep that building for 10 years. Or if they were to sell the building, use those funds for the same purpose. So with that, we were exploring other options based on location and space that building offers. So right now, current City Hall that we're in is a lease facility, monthly cost of approximately $2,300. The previous building, as I mentioned, has a pending grant for $300,000 for asbestos removal and demolition. In January of 2023, a market analysis was completed on the old City Hall building. Current market value in as-is condition was $125,000. Again, this was a year ago. A repaired market value. So this was a repaired and usable building, not just including the demolition and asbestos abatement, was $550,000. And there are $200,000 set aside for City Hall currently in the budget. There's a current grant pending acceptance for demo and asbestos removal in the amount of $300,000. That scope of work is limited to just demo and asbestos removal. It's not something we can use to remodel the building. And that requires keeping the building for 10 years after construction. In speaking with Department of Commerce in this grant, I asked for some details regarding the use of those funds and what could be done with those. Could we accept the funds, sell the building, and use those funds to build a city hall, not buy another building? Was not able to get an exact answer on that. However, the grant manager I spoke to said, if your intent is not to keep that building, you should probably request what's called a change of use in those funds. So the city has a potential to not lose those funds completely, but we could request a change in use for another use. I asked about a street sweeper, possibilities of that nature. And because this was a facilities grant, it would have to be facilities related. So there is an option to request a change of use, but again, we would need to decide which facility we would apply this to that the city owns and wishes to upgrade. And we could use it for that if it got approved, which would go through Representative Skylar Rood's office. In April, we received an estimated cost to renovate and repair the facility, $1,053,000, 873. There is a shell renovation estimate of 565,000. That estimate is just after the demolition, just to return it to a usable shell condition. So not a full-on office space, not completely filled, but more of a shell of a building where cubicles could be put in place, things of that nature. So those are some options in use of the city hall. Some items of consideration is parking. Currently, as you can see from the building, there's 3 parking spaces in the front available. The back has another 4. So use as a public building where public will be coming in and accessing the building, there's limited parking there. Now it is street side parking, so obviously those 3 spots are right in front of the building, but there's other parking along that area that is available that's shared by other businesses. Space as well is limited. It currently would not house everyone employed by the city in the administrative offices. There would be an option to move some staff over there, but again, that's a consideration for continuity of the staff that you have here. So there are options to keep the building and use it. However, with the grant and the funds available, the city would need to obtain additional funds to bring it up to a usable condition. Considering the value of the building, even in a repaired state, the city would invest more funds than the building is worth in its market value at $550,000. So you're accepting the 300,000 if you were, and then use the 200,000 that you have, you would still need to put in another 500,000 estimated to bring that building up to a usable condition.
And then maintain it for 10 years.
And maintain it for 10 years. In selling it, again, at market value of 550,000, then you take that money and use it for another city hall facility. But you've then put more money into that building than you would get back out.
Question.
Yes.
When you were mentioning the change in the grant conditions,
Yes.
we were working on one of our budget budget last month, and we spoke about modifications to the public works department and possibly a snow shed for some of our de-icing and de-icing equipment. Can you check to see if that's feasible?
Yes, I can.
Maybe
My thought was that was a good option as well.
Yeah.
Look at the public works building and see how we could invest 300,000 into that.
Office space and facilities in the public works department area down there.
And one more thing, wasn't the library also belonged by us?
Yes, that building is owned by the city.
Yes.
So my question would be, I know it was brought to us quite a while ago about some things that are starting to fall apart. And maybe that might be an option too, to be able to fix up the library on the things that I can't quite remember if it was the fascia or something.
Fascia and siding.
Fascia and
Yep.
siding, something was starting. So just some other options if we want to look at that way.
Would Jose be the best point of contact for the repairs to the library? Okay. Yeah. I'll get with him on exact needs there, and then we can have that discussion with Department of Commerce and see what's eligible.
Thank you.
Continuing. So option of a new facility, estimated need, and this is based on some assessments that were done. I don't have the date, but it was early 2000s, I believe. Approximately 7,000 square foot. We do have that land next to the library owned by the city, which makes it prime candidate for a city hall location. Architect estimate for this facility is $3 a square foot. So total investment in a building of that size would be approximately 2.1 million. Those are obviously very round numbers, very preliminary numbers, but that would give us a building adequate to fit the staff, file storage, keep everybody in one location.
That's a 2-story building.
That really could go either way. You could go 2-story or a one-story building. So you could go either option there. There's enough land there. We've discussed with the architect both options, even leaving a basement as a empty file storage area, non-conditioned space. That could bring the cost down a little bit. But essentially you could go either way, 1-story or 2-story building. The land again is currently owned by the city, so there's no property acquisition cost. Arculus, there it is. They gave us an assessment in 2012 and provided this design and cost estimate, and the updated estimate is 2.1 million. Which I just told you a minute ago, so I'm ahead of myself. Second option, you asked for options, is to have a developer, an investor, purchase a piece of land and build a building for us, and we lease that property. The difference in doing that versus what we're doing here is that building would be custom suited to the city. So it could be built based on city's design and approval. Some preliminary numbers to do that would be $20 to $26 to $30 a square foot for build to suit on their owned property. Lease costs would be about $210,000 a year, or $17,500 a month to have something like that done. These are numbers that I received from a commercial real estate investor. If city chose to have a custom built building on city's property, there could be some offset costs on that land lease. So save a little bit on each month if we put it on a land that we own. Funding, researched possible sources. Unfortunately, there's nothing out there that's just going to fund this project for us. There are low interest loans available through USDA. Block grants are only available if it's community center or community-based building. So if we were to say make a council chamber big enough to also make it a community center, that portion, block grant could fund that portion of the building, but not the entire building. Public Works Trust Fund. Again, you can see it, that's used for public works facilities and infrastructure. It's a loan program as well, not a grant program, but it's not available for city hall or administrative facilities. So unfortunately, there's nothing out there right now that we can say, yes, let's apply for this and get some funding for a city hall. But these are some options that are available. Stay where we are, continue to lease, possibly use the awarded funds for a different project, a different facility. Decide what to do with City Hall, the old City Hall, and perhaps start planning and saving for a building in the future.
I was gonna say, I think that will probably be is figuring out what we would like to do with the old city hall. And I think that will be our first step, is to either figure out what we want to do with it or offload it so we can move forward.
I will research the $300,000 grant and what we can do with that and our options. Our calendar's ticking on that. So
Yes.
definitely want to decide what we want to do and accept that because it's free money for the city. So
We have a workshop on the first Tuesday of next month, and it's one of the items that I have on there for discussion. If you can come back to that with more information.
yes.
Okay. Because we've got to figure out what we're gonna do. I mean, we're just throwing money.
I think
Sounds
if you're
good.
able to come back to us and have a good, clear idea of if we can invest it in some of our other facilities, I don't see us. And I'm not speaking for the other council members, but I'd hate for us to lose out on $300,000 when we can put it into some of our other facilities. So I don't see an issue if we can reinvest that into something else that would benefit us for right now. I think it'd be awesome.
I agree. I hope to have that response to you by then.
Perfect.
Work on that. Any other questions or comments? That concludes our City Hall presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
bet.
you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Of course.
Items for approval, resolution. Tuesday.
Yeah, with task orders.
Oh,
Yeah, one more item for discussion there.
oh, you do. I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Yes, I just wanted to mention that we are working on continuing to transition the Spink Engineering task orders to Akana. It's been very busy for us in orientations and learning the Akana system, so I don't have those prepared this week, but I do plan to have them for February 6th council meeting. So there will be, Carla, another slew of task orders coming through. But again, these are not new projects. These are all just remaining projects that were already contracted through Spink Engineering. And we'll make sure that those stay within the remaining budgets that were left on those projects. There are a few new ones coming in for sewer relining that we're working on. And second.
We were in that prior group.
Yeah, the sewer relining and a utility rate study. So we will be working on those as well. I'm not sure if I'll have those for the February 6th meeting, but they will be coming as well, just so you are aware.
Okay.
Any questions on task orders or any of that? All right, thank you for the time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Items for approval. Okay, no, items for discussion. Max, Muniz, he resigned, today, effective 2 weeks from now. So we've lost him. EC, Newzak,
Eastside.
we want to bring him on as a full-time employee, just to let the council know. Okay. He's been part-time. We're bringing him on full-time. And we'll be looking for a replacement for Max.
Just for clarification, he has been the seasonal, not part-time.
Or seasonal, correct?
Yes, he has been the
Correct.
full-time
And so he's gonna
seasonal.
come on full-time,
Yep.
Yes,
Seasonal, full-time,
Yes,
moving up to
yes.
full-time.
yeah, so somebody Jose wanted on and that from, nice young man. Max took a higher paying job elsewhere, wish him the best on it, and congratulations. The items for approval. Resolution 202401, adopt right-of-way procedures.
For clarification, this is a requirement by WashDOT for the Riverfront Park Trail project, where there is a right of way with Kiona Irrigation District that we have to work on. So DOT is requiring that the city has procedures in place. This is a template that they are requiring that we use. So basically, we just plugged in City of Benton City into the template. Carla and George and Mayor also took some trainings that were required for this. So it's just required for the Riverfront Park Trail project.
And that was my only question, was what it was related to. Any further questions? I move to approve resolution 2024.01, a resolution to approve right-of-way procedures.
I second.
All in favor?
Wadsworth, aye.
Reed, aye.
Pakisar, aye.
Motion passes. Resolution 202405 to purchase two Ford Maverick pickups, one for code enforcement and one for Wade in the utility side.
There's no discussion. I move to approve resolution 2024-05, a resolution to approve the purchase of two Maverick pickups.
Second.
All in favor?
Wadsworth, aye.
Reed, aye.
Pakisar, aye.
Okay. Resolution 2024-06, purchase of a Ford F-350 truck, and I might add that we will not see this truck for about 5 to 6 months after we place the order.
Point of clarification, do we need to have a value on these?
There should be
There is.
the quote in there from
The whereas paragraphs included.
Where, okay,
right. It's for through the Washington State pool that we're piggybacking for the vehicles.
I move to approve resolution number 2024-06 to purchase a Ford 350 pickup.
Second.
All in favor?
Wadsworth, aye.
Reed, aye.
Pakisar, aye.
Motion passes. Resolution 202407, BLOM.
Do you need any information on this?
What?
This recommended, I, no action.
There's no motion to this.
There's no motion on the yellow form.
We were hoping to have council approve this. Were we? Yeah. This is the blown condemnation. We've worked through this process and reported to the mayor and council as things developed. We are waiting for the final survey legal descriptions. We thought we might have it now, but we don't, which should be very close coming. But we want to move this so that as soon as that part of it is here, we can get this, get this off of our plate. The dollar amount was within council parameters, and the ultimate result will be that we get the right of way that we needed both on Carroll and on Third.
Is there any questions on this?
Questions just that says, no, not applicable for.
Yeah, I
So-
didn't have the paperwork in front of me when I did that.
Okay.
And this is for us to move forward,
This is for us to be ready
to move
to
forward.
settle this. It's on, currently it's a pending condemnation action, and we want to get it settled.
So are we just authorizing the mayor to sign?
Right, what it would do is it would authorize the mayor to sign it as soon as we have the final part about it, and then we don't have to bring it back later. The amount of the dollars have been vetted.
Right.
We've
Yeah.
already,
I'm very
yeah, we've
familiar
already
with
approved
it.
that.
So would it just be that we're gonna?
It would
say-
just be, I approve resolution number 2024-07, a resolution of the city of Benton City, Washington, authorizing the approval of the settlement and the coordination of property judgment to Carroll Avenue? Is that-
Right,
That is correct.
Okay,
And authorize. do we
that
need to
sound like a good motion?
Authorize the mayor to sign?
that's included in here.
I just read the title.
I know, that's what I was. I'm like, what are we supposed to say?
There's the motion.
That's it. I'll second.
I think,
Okay. All in favor?
Wadsworth, aye.
Reed, aye.
Alcazar, I.
Motion passes. Next item, ordinance 1060, Benton City Municipal Code 2.28, amending the mayor's salary.
No.
It's for the mayor not to take a salary.
Yeah, it's not
And-
amending the salary, it's allowing for waiver of salaries by
Right,
elected
right,
officials.
Right, correct.
So, and that's the one we had changed from amending the mayor's salary to elected official salary.
Not amending, but allowing waiver of salaries.
I'm allowing the waiver of the mayor's salary.
But it also applies to council
Right,
members if they
right,
wanted to
Right,
take advantage
right,
of it.
Correct.
And it just so that everybody knows, if it's ever, you change your mind, it automatically.
You can rescind it.
Right,
Correct.
Okay.
I
It-
was just
it-
looking at the wording and to make sure it's said right.
Okay.
So. Would it be, move to approve ordinance 1060 Benton City Municipal Code 2.28, amending the elected officials salary to-
allowing waiver of
Allowing
elected official
waiver.
salary.
of the elected official salary.
Allowing elected official to waive all or portion of salary compensation.
Second,
All in favor?
Wadsworth, aye.
Reed, aye.
Alcazar, I
Motion passes.
depend on the words to be there.
Okay, that finishes up everything on the agenda, so we will adjourn now until we have executive session and executive session.
And we need to announce, it's for property, property transactions.
Yeah, it's a
Real
property
estate.
transaction
Right,
on real estate.
And we have to identify an estimated time.
I know
frame.
it's gonna get to the time next. How long will this take, Alan?
It's probably gonna take about an hour and a half.
Oh,
Okay.
we're gonna torrent better you. Can you do it?
Is that with sales tax?
Can you do it in 10 minutes? Can you
If
do it in
we,
10 minutes?
if we needed to extend it, we can do
can.
that, and
Let's
Caesar
give let's
extend
give
it.
it 5 minutes, and if we have to extend it, we'll extend it. So we'll come back in at 8:10.
And will there be any action to follow?
Okay.
Is there gonna be any action to follow?
Not anticipated
No.
tonight.
No anticipated action to follow.
Okay.
Okay, we'll just adjourn for the night.
Yep.
Okay,
I'm motion to adjourn.
I motion to adjourn.
I motion to adjourn.
Okay, okay.
Second.
Second,
And all in favor,
Wadsworth, aye.
Reed, aye.
Alcazar, I.
meeting adjourned.